All right, so last class you guys worked on that e-cart. There are some of you that still need to do that, and you will work on that today during Stinger. And then we'll double check to see. I think we might still have a couple people that have to make up the test. I'll get you guys started in just a moment. But this is our new assignment sheet, Unit 4B. So Unit 4 is a pretty long unit, and so we took and split into two chunks. 4A was basically graphing the line, and 4B is how to write the equation of the line. So we're kind of going backwards with it. So you'll see today, so we have a foldable that we're using for the next 3 days. And today we're going to talk about how to write that in the equation when we're given our slope and y-intercept, and also in the situation where we're given the graph. We don't have a mini quiz until day 3 here, but it will be on those first 2 days. So we kind of condensed our mini quizzes together. All right, now something really important here is that it would be for you guys the 11th, when we do our line of best fit, we're going to be using Desmos for that, and so it's really important that you bring your laptop, because we'll be using Desmos in class for that.
What is that?
Desmos is a program that, it's kind of like an online graphing calculator, so we're going to use that to do line of best fit. 20th. 20th is your last day. Yeah, 20th is last day. Okay, so just make sure you bring your laptop for those days, because we will be using Desmos, and it's a lot easier to do it on Desmos than it is on the graphing calculator. What's that? What'd you say?
Are we supposed to do it after?
It's awesome if you've already folded it. We're not going to dive into it just yet, but we will be. Okay, so just make sure you bring your laptop for that. Likewise, because of this, part of our test and potentially the mini quiz will be done on the laptop with Desmos, not the whole thing, but part of it. So do make sure you bring your laptop for test day, bring it for our quiz day, and bring it for our notes day. So this puts our test is on the 19th, and just you can kind of see the calendar of things. This is our test. The 20th is your last day of school before break there. Okay, so we'll squeeze this unit in right before the end of break, assuming that there are no snow days within there. But of course, we hope for snow days. It's coming up, isn't it?
I so great.
I hope. I don't know. I don't get my hopes up until it's like closer, because by next Monday they'll say it's rain. I want to know why New York got 1.5 feet and we got nothing.
Because it's New York.
Yeah, but can't they send any down our way? I only need 3 inches. Anyway,
Honestly.
do we have questions on our pacing here, Angela?
I don't know.
So, Christmas break, the 20th is your last day of school. And it is a full day, so technically the 21st, Saturday is that beginning there. And then you guys have off 2 solid weeks. Other questions with the pacing there? 2 weeks, 2 full weeks. So you come back the 6th of January. So 21st is 6th. Other questions with the pacing? Okay. So again, each piece of paper you're going to fold on the dotted line and then assemble it so it looks like this. And then my absentees that need to take the test, I'll get you guys started.
You can name the melody.
Good. Add that to the list.
You were the same. No. Do I still
Marjorie, you were able to finish last time.
What's the order?
I'm just gonna be sitting back just so it's hopefully less distracting. Let me actually see if this wasn't go.
You know, compared to
I'll turn double check. The color? I don't know yet. Just try to match up the words and then I'll find out if it's She can't hang bro.
Did you see it this morning?
No, I didn't see her.
You didn't see it this morning? It was like she was up in the foyer. Yeah, I saw purple, yo. Te movió. Yeah, 0.
Okay, so once you have it folded, you'll assemble it like so. So you have writing equations of lines, so it goes green first. So we have green. I know this is not purple, but that's purple. White. Then salmonish color. Not salmon color.
What is that?
Bacteria or something bad. And then it's white again. And then purple. And then green.
Salmon?
Salmon. It looks like salmon, doesn't it? Okay. I'll come around and just double check that we all have in the right order. If you need some help to make sure you've got it right, just raise your hand. I can come to you. And then I'll pass around staplers. So you can go and staple. I find that works staplers.
So there's Stinger 2 and 3, right?
Yeah, it is Stinger 2.
Oh, it's like 3 in the morning. Okay. You're like the CEO.
Right idea, but with this.
I'm so sleepy.
Eric, I know fast.
They do some credit. Like you can't even hear. She had one back then. She was straight. The flavor was kind of good. But you didn't have
Alright. Staplers are coming. I'm going to take attendance and we'll get started.
Oh, rain. I think it's say rain actually.
Alright, is there anyone that still needs staplers? Where are our staplers? Got one here. Where's the other stapler? Can you pass it forward, please, to Golda? Thank you. Alright. While we are waiting for staplers to go around.
I didn't even say mine. Y'all never.
They didn't get switched. I wonder why. I wonder
Go ahead and pass it that way. I think it still needs it.
You passed it to me.
Gabby, you said you need it, right?
God.
Okay. So while our last few people are stapling, let's go and take a look at our notes. And just a reminder, phone should be off and away, earbuds out. I'll take notes.
I always end up taking some.
Don't you worry, I'll make sure the 7 knows that too.
Oh, crap.
Oh,
Paragraph.
Come on.
Yeah, in high school, having a 7 doesn't mean you just give you nothing. To do something. What? She's gonna be angry. Well, if you make her angry.
I might have to make her run away and stop something.
Well, I'm not coming back.
Is the sun old?
So. She's retired, but she's not like 80.
Well, why is old?
Like 60 and 50. How old is old to you guys? Careful
Like
how you answer this
65
question.
55 and up.
Oh.
65 and up. Hold on.
Boomers.
No, 50 to 60.
50.
At least you guys aren't saying 30 something.
Hold on.
Alright. So our foldable, we'll be using this for the next 3 classes. So today, just a reminder of what our slope-intercept form is. And then we're going to be writing this equation. You want to make sure you know that this is called slope-intercept form. It gives us our slope and our y-intersection. But what we're going to be doing this unit is how to write this equation when they give us different types of information. So just a reminder what our slope-intercept form is. So this is our slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. You do need to have this memorized.
MX is slope and B is y.
N is slope.
That is correct. N is our slope. And again, it's only the n value.
Wait, so I'm right?
You were correct after Andrew.
Wait, what?
So it's not mx is our slope, just the n.
Oh, M.
Alright? And then our b value here, this is our y-intercept. Who can remind us what the y-intercept is? Like, what does that mean?
The line that crosses the y-axis
Very
here.
good.
If you're graphing this, that's where you usually start.
Good, so this crosses the y-axis. And as Eric said, it is when we're graphing, that's what we start off with. So it's the point 0 and then whatever that b value is. That looks like a 6. 0, comma. Okay, so this is the equation that we're going to be trying to get it into the next couple days. Okay, so you can go ahead and lift up your next flat. Alright, so this is how to write the equation when they give us the slope and they give us the y-intercept. You can't get any easier than this. Our slope is the n value, and our y-intercept is that b value. So when they give us the slope and they give us the y-intercept, what we have to do is put it into our equation. Calm down over there. Please don't throw in a stapler, it's dangerous. Alright, so again, we're going back to our slope-intercept form. We substitute the slope for n, and then we substitute the y-intercept for b. That's what we have to do. So for our first example here, they gave it to us where they actually said m equals and b equals. Just in our second example, they say the words slope and y-intercept, so we need to know which one's which. So for our first example, y equals, instead of m, I'm going to put the actual m value, x, and then I have plus b, so plus -4, which is just minus 4. And that's your answer.
We basically do this, like, in our other unit, we're basically doing this.
You're basically doing it mentally, yeah. Alright,
Y equals 2x.
slope is 2, so this is my n. Y-intercept is -1, that's my b. So y equals, instead of n, it's 2x plus b, so plus -1 is just minus 1. That's your answer. Okay, so really, really, really easy when they give us the slope pointers if you just put it in and you're done. So now let's take a look at our next flat. When they give us the graph, how do we write our equation?
You count the like number of spaces up and then you
Very good. So we need to first, what we have to do from our graph is we have to identify our slope and we have to identify our y-intercept. So let's go ahead and, as Andrew was saying, let's go ahead and count the slope first. Remember, that's your m value.
Rise over run.
Very good, that's what this is. Rise over run. And then we find our y-intercept. And we simply put those into the equation. Now keep in mind when you're counting your slope, you want to check to see if it's a negative slope.
And usually when, like example 1, when the line is like that, it's a negative slope.
Good. So negative slope is when your line is going down. It's if you were going to walk on your line, you're walking down the stairs. So example 1 is a negative slope. Example 2, you're walking up the stairs. It's a positive slope. Okay. Now, conveniently for these two pictures, they went ahead and highlighted which points to use. That won't always be the case. So make sure that when you are, if they don't give you which points to use, when you choose them, make sure the points lay on the crisscross perfectly. So for example, if I take a look at this point here, notice it's not perfectly on my little crisscross. Right? I want it exactly on that crisscross.
Does it matter where you put the negative?
No.
Because you could either do -2/3 or +2/-.
Yep. Or you can just throw the negative in front altogether. It all means the same thing. So again, make sure the point is perfectly on the crisscross. Another point I could use would be this one right here. It's perfectly on the crisscross. Looking over here, I could use this one. It's perfectly on the crisscross. I could use this one, or I could use this one. So just be aware, sometimes you have to decide which dots to use. Just use the ones that are on the crisscross. Okay, so counting our rise over run, I'm going to start at this guy. I went up 1, 2, so that's a rise of 2. And left 1, 2, 3. And like we said, this is a negative slope. Now my y-intercept, that's where it crosses my y-axis, that's this spot right here. What is my y value there? 1. That's positive. So when we go to write our equation, we just simply put in the information. Y equals negative 2/3 x positive 1.
But the way that you counted your rise over run, wouldn't it be positive 2 over negative?
Yeah, so because I went left,
Yeah.
that would be where the negative is. Yeah, again, it doesn't matter where you put it. What was your question? Yeah, so when we do rise over run, we say that left is negative or down is negative. So what Eric and Gabby were asking about is I went up 2 and left 3, so technically what my negative would be there.
But if you put it on the negative, if you made it a negative 2, that means you just started from the other point and went down.
Yeah, if I went down 2, that would be my negative, and to the right. So guys, negative 2/3 is the same thing as negative 2 over 3, which is the same thing as 2 over negative. So it's more common that you'll see it one of these two ways, but any of those are acceptable. All right, let's take a look at example 2. So again, our slope, I'm going to start here and count up 1, 2, and to the right 1. 2 divided by 1 is just 2. Now we didn't need to put a negative because it's a positive slope. We're climbing up the stairs. But my y-intercept, negative 2 good. So when I write my equation here, y equals slope, so 2x, plus negative 2, same thing as just minus 2. That's that. So yeah, you can put 2x plus negative 2. It just looks funny having the 2 signs there, so I would then have you just go ahead and simplify it. Plus a negative just means minus 2. Yes, sir.
Do you always have to simplify?
Anytime you can simplify, you should. Other questions with this?
Because on a test, it would give us a simplified answer, right?
Yeah, especially for multiple choice, they would give you the simplified. Okay. So as crazy as that is, those are our notes for today. Pretty simple and easy, right? Nothing crazy. We're gonna do some practice with this, but just so we're gonna then do the next couple flats next class and the next couple flats.
Oh.
So these are our notes for like the next 2 to 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Not 3 weeks. 3 weeks is
Bro, we wouldn't
great.
even be here in 3 weeks.
Man, Andrew is on it today.
He wants to leave.
I don't want to be here.
Okay. So keep that out so that you can refer back to it.
I don't want to be a part of the circle.
Yes.
Bro, he is sleeping. He's a 7. He's low. We'll be
He's gonna be so right.
Anthony is ugly.
Is there anyone else that needed a stapler that didn't get it?
Good name? Abby.
Well, my sister also is Abby.
Cornelius.
Abby. NFL.
No.
It's because of the movie.
Michael.
What about Melody?
That is another name.
Melanie.
That is another name. Okay, is there anyone that did not get worksheet number 2? Okay.
Jane.
So worksheet number 2 here, the front side, I don't know if I have it on smartboard. The front side, you're just simply writing the equation where they give you the slope and y-intercept. And the back side is when they give you a graph and you're writing your equation from there. So go ahead and work on this. You are welcome to work with a shoulder partner if you would so desire, or individually. And you're always welcome to ask me questions. So go ahead and work on this, and then we'll come together and go over it.
So we were going
Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the answers to the front side. It looks like most of us are done at least with the front side. Whoops, sorry, wrong one. Ah! Stinger 2 and 3. It was TA Stinger 1 last. I know it's your favorite.
You see the car video? You need a seat.
Alright, I pulled up here the front side. So I want you guys, let's go and have us return to our original desks. So then return to your seats.
I do have that. Why would I do that? Which one do you have? I sent you another one.
There's a kid out there.
Yo, this was kind of slight, this.
Slight work.
What is that?
Slight work?
Not a lot of work.
No. It was slight. It was slight.
Well,
I mean,
there's one to make this. That's not mine.
it's gibberish.
All I know is I understand half of what wow. Alright, so we should be back in our original seats. Go ahead and check your answers to these first ones here. There are a couple that I want to point out specifically. Not water on my paper right here.
Anthony. I don't have water.
Get it right on my paper too.
I'm getting with you. It was Alan. Alan has
That was on that side of the room the entire time. It was you.
Yeah, I was in beach.
what color is it?
Alright,
You're not colorblind.
do we have any questions on 1, 2, or 3? Okay. The couple ones that I want to take a look at specifically is number 4 and 8. So here it says the slope is 1, but y-intercept is 0. So that would be y equals 1x plus 0. Now always simplify when you can. If I have 1x and I add nothing to it, I still just have 1x.
Would we get it wrong if we put 1x? Like, or can we just leave it at x?
This would be the preferred one with this x, yeah. So when we have the one in front, 1x is the same thing as x. Now for number 8 here, it says the slope is 0, the y-intercept is 9. So when we write that one out, that would be 0x
Equals 9.
plus 9. Now 0 times anything is just 0, and 0 plus 9 is just 9. So do simplify that down when you're able to.
You don't have to put that in if you said those in the page.
Not it, unless they ask for it, and they probably wouldn't. Alright, do you have questions on these first ones here that we've seen? We're going to go down some more. So again, we have a couple that are kind of like that number 13. It says the slope is 5, so y equals 5x, and the y-intercept is 0 plus 0. Again, if I have 5x and I add nothing to it, I still just have 5x. And then for number 17, it says the slope is 0, 0x. Y-intercept is negative 5. 0 times x is just 0. And 0 minus 5 is just negative 5. You don't have to show these sets. If you just go to y equals negative 5, that's fine. Any questions on that front side? So let's go and take a look at the back side. And most of you finish this photo. Just a couple of things with this. Remember to look to see if your slope is negative or positive. Here my slope is positive. This one my slope is negative. This one, we don't even have a slope. This is a horizontal line. So we want to think poi. So horizontal line is just y equals, it has a slope of 0, so just y equals 0. Here this one's a positive slope, negative slope, positive slope. Let me scroll it up a little bit for you guys. So just make sure you have that your slope, when it's negative, you actually have a negative. But these are the examples where they didn't specifically give you the points to count from. So again, when you're looking, you want to look for that perfect crisscross. Right there. Here's another one right here. Up 1, over 1, which is just 1. That's my slope there. Now for something like number 23, it's probably going to use your y-intercept points. Another perfect one will be right here, or this one, or this one, or this one. Any of those you can use. So again, pick one, and you went up 2, over 1. Whoops. Over 1 is just 2. Okay. So good questions on 18 through 23. Okay. We're going to check your answer 24, 25, 26, and we'll talk about 27, 28 together. So this first part, we will do this because it says double it on your second birthday. So if I get here, sorry, I'm okay, so we don't. Yeah.
She said not to. Wait, so wouldn't it be 2x plus 2?
No, so guys, let's go talk about number 27. It says doubling a child's height on their second birthday is a close estimate of their final adult height. I wonder if that's true. Right, a linear model that gives the approximate adult height of a 2-year-old in terms of his or her height. So when it says linear model, we're just talking about y equals mx plus b. Okay, so a lot of you guys did a good job. It says doubling their height. It's 2x. Now the reason why we don't need to do plus 2 is because it says when it is their second birthday, then we just double it. So they told us, write an equation that gives the approximate height of the child. So they are 2 years old, so all we have to do is just double it. It's not that they want their current height plus the double. Sorry, they don't want their current age plus the doubling, they just want you to double it. Now for 28, this is very similar to ones we had before.
Did you have made it a fraction?
Yeah.
I put the 20.
You say 3/20ths?
That's what Google said.
Okay, I was working on simplifying it in my head. Yeah. Okay, so here it says it charges a flat fee of $29, so they only do that one time. And then it's 15 cents per mile. That per means we're multiplying, so that's going to be our 0.15 times x. And then write equation to model the total charge. All right, so again, the equation we're talking about is y equals mx plus b. So we have 1 for 15 cents per mile, and then just a one-time fee of $29. That sounds really cheap. I feel like it's more expensive now. Also, you have to apparently be like 25 or 26 to rent a car.
Why?
I don't know.
Now?
I'm not sure why. They might just charge you more if you're younger than that, thinking that you're not as experienced a driver. I just remember I had a friend that she got married, I think she was like 24, and she wasn't old enough to get the cheaper rate for the rental car, which was interesting. Okay. Questions on 24, 25, or 26? And then questions with 27. With 26 here, again, just make sure you're picking nice points. There's a good one. Notice these do not perfectly cross. Here's another one. It's not perfectly crossed down here. So make sure you get on that perfect crisscross. Okay. For the remaining time, you can go and start working on your homework. There are some of you that need to do the e-cart, so I'll be pulling you guys to do your e-cart. And I think that's all we have for makeup. So let me grab your homework. What is your assignment sheet say your homework is? Costume party.
Huh? Costume party. Halloween past. Nah, it's for Christmas.
Yeah. Go with it. Alright, so again, make sure you don't lose your papers because this is a new unit, new notebook and binder.
That if I was so, I forgot everything on that e-card. And there's some things I don't even know.
Well, I hope you did your best.
I tried. While the substitute was reading so much.
Was it so nice?
Is it e-card hard?
She didn't help at all.
Oh, she's not supposed to.
You know, I know, like I
They
had
give you
like,
questions. They give you questions
I
like
had a question
you haven't learned.
Like, I didn't hear her read it. Don't know. Specifically.
Just learn.
That was my.
But the e-card's supposed to be like this, where it's like, you can't say
It's both ways. Dumb shit.
She just did it over her shoulder. That's kind of weird.
Wait, I have a question. Do we have to do these? Or do we have to do these?
Follow the directions. Let's see what they say.
Oh, so you have to do these.
Alright, so this to be similar to ones that you've done before. So it says draw the line indicated and write its equation. Find your answer in the answer column and cross out the letter next to it. So for example, number one says equation of line AB. So you're going to take A.
A and B's down there.
Thank you. You're going to connect that line. And you're going to write out the equation for it. So again, remember, think back to we get to do our slope or equation. So y equals mx plus b. So drawing the line allows you to find your y-intercept.
That's a lot of work.
To draw a line.
That's a lot of thinking.
Alright, so we have our equation then. So we have a y-intercept of 1, 2, 3, 4. So my y-intercept is -4. And then my slope is 1, 2, 3. So y equals 2/3 x minus 4. Okay. Then it says find your answer in the answer column and cross out the letter next to it. So we look for that equation.
And
And cross that out. Okay, so you're going to do that, and then what's left is your answer to the riddle. How did the light dress up for the costume? I do have some rulers if you would like to borrow a ruler.
do we need to like answer that question?
Can I please learn?
What, like just doing the work will answer it for you. If you would like to borrow a ruler, I'm going to set them back here. And I can get you to draw the line. So you draw the line that helps you get your y-intercept, and then you cut your slope from there. And I'll be talking to some of you about your E part, getting that done. But this is your homework, you're going to start working on it now.